नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी मर्चान्तिदेशकारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So we'll begin the 44th anuccheda. Tatacha. The 44th anuccheda also, Jiva Goswami is actually quoting a Srimad Bhagavatam verse to show that how Krishna, in his personal form, he is all pervading. He is quoting a verse from the Bhishma Dev's prayers in the first canto. Tatacha, that means in the same vein as in the previous, in the same, Tatacha means in the same thought process as discussed in the previous Anucheda. The previous Anucheda, it was described that how Narada saw the same Krishna present in every palace, performing different religious duties. So now in the same concept, same Siddhanta is also spoken by Bhishma Dev. 1.9.42. Tamimam ahamajam sharirabhajam hridi dishtitam atmakalpitanam pratidrishamiva naikadarkamekam samadhigatosmi viduta veda mogaha. So somebody can read the translation. I will just join. Yes, the translation. So I can read.
Prabhuji, the screen, yeah. Should I read, Prabhu?
Yes.
Being free from the delusion of duality, I come to understand that Krishna, who is situated before me, is one. Though he is unborn, he appears in the hearts of all embodied beings who have been manifested from within him, just as the sun is one, though appearing differently to everyone.
So this is the verse from Bhishma Dev's prayer. Tamimam aham ajam sharira bhajam. Second. Hridi dishtita atma kalpitana pratidrishamiva naikadarkamekam samadhigatosmi viduta veda mogaha. So imam, this Sri Krishna, imam, this Sri Krishna, or how the translation is that we start with the viduta veda mogaha. Veda means the duality. Veda mohaha means delusion of duality. Viduta Veda Mohaha, that means being freed from the delusion of duality. Samadhi Gatosmi, Samadhi Gatosmi, now I have come to understand. What I have understood? That Tam, this Krishna, Imam, this Krishna who is situated before me, Tam Imam, this Krishna who is situated before me, he is actually Ekam. He is one only. Ekam. He is actually one only. Although he is unborn, Ajam, although he is unborn, but he appears Hridi Hridi, Sharira Bhajam Hridi Hridi. He appears in the hearts of all the embodied beings. Sharira Bhaja means the embodied living entities. Hridi Hridi. He appears in the hearts of all the embodied beings. And Dishtita Atma Kalpitanam. Dishtita Atma Kalpitanam means who have been manifested from within him. Who have been manifested from within him. Just as the sun is one, Arkam Ekam. Arka means the sun. Although just as the sun is one, but Anekada, but appears differently to everyone. Pratidrisham Iva Naikada Arkam Ekam. Although the sun is one, it appears differently to different people. Similarly, Krishna is one, but he appears in the hearts of all the embodied beings as if he is different as the different Paramatmas. But actually he is one. So let us understand the meaning further. Tam imam agrata eva upavishtam Shri Krishnam Vyashti antaryami rupena Nija amshena Sharira Bhajam Hridi Hridi Dishtitam Kechitsva Dehantar Hridayavakashe Pradesha Matram Purusham Vasantam Ityukta Disha Tattad Rupena Binnamurtivat Vasantam Api Ekam Abhinnamurtimeva Samadhigatosmi. So this Krishna, Tam Imam, Agrata, who is standing directly in front of me, Vyashti Antaryami Rupena. He is present in the heart of Hridi Hridi, every living entity in the plenary portion of the Paramatma. So Yoga Goswami is quoting a verse from 2.2.8. Kechit swa dehantar hridayavakashe pradesha matram purusham vasantam. So some people meditate on the Lord residing within the space of their own hearts as the Paramatma occupying one pradesha. Pradesha matram. The span of a thumb and a forefinger. The span of the thumb and forefinger. So, but now I have understood Samadhi Gatosmi. Now I have understood him to be one. I understood him to be one, having a single form, even though he appears to have separate forms when he resides in everyone's heart as the Paramatma. Just like very similar to Narada Muni's realization. Narada Muni said very clearly in the previous Anuccheda, Krishna in a single form, the same form, the previous Anuccheda, we saw that verse, that Narada Muni saw the same Krishna present in every palace, executing the eternal religious duties meant for the purification of the married couples. So, the single form, he is actually, the same form he is present. Eka Vapusha, it was mentioned. Ekena Vapusha Yugapat Prithak Griheshu. In a single body, Krishna is able to marry separately 16,000 wives. The same realization Bhishma Dev is having. I have understood him to be one person. And normally, in this world, if there are two objects, if an object is present in different places, then those objects are different from each other. If a ball is present in one room, another ball is present in another room, then both these balls are different from each other. That is our normal conventional experience. But here, Bhishma Dev is saying that you are present in everyone's heart as a Paramatma, but you are the same person, you are one only. The same Krishna who is standing in front of me, he is present in everyone's heart as a Paramatma. Binna Murtivat Vasantam Api Ekam Abhinna Murtimeva. Api Ekam Abhinna Murtimeva Samadhi Gatosmi. He seems to have separate palms, but actually I have understood him to be one only, having a single form. So I am Paramananda Vigraha Eva Vyapakaha Swa Antarbhutena Nija Akara Visheshena Antaryamitaya Tatra Tatra Spurati Iti Vigyatavan Asmi. So this supremely blissful form, Paramananda Vigraha, this supremely blissful form only Vyapakaha, it is only all pervading. And he manifests in everyone's heart in the special form as the Paramatma. Swa Antarbhutena Nija Akara. He is only manifest in everyone's heart as a Paramatma. And this Paramatma is contained within himself. And I have realized this. Yataha aham viduta beda mohaha. I have realized this because viduta beda mohaha. I am freed from the delusion of duality. How did I become free from the delusion of duality? Only by the mercy of the same form. Asya eva kripaya duri krito veda moho duri krito veda moho bhagavad vigrahasya vyapakatva asambhavana ajanita tan nanatva vijnana lakshano moho yasya tata bhuto aham. So what is that illusion? The delusion is that one thinks it to be impossible that one form of the Lord can be simultaneously all pervasive. Normally in our experience, there is one ball. How can that one ball be all pervading in all the rooms? In every room, suppose there is a ball, it means all the balls are different. But that is not the case with the Lord. So from the material point of view, point of view, one may think it to be impossible for the Lord to be, for the one form of the Lord to be simultaneously all pervading. So one will think that all these forms are different. That is how one may conclude. But asya eva kripaya, by the mercy of this very form, this delusion has been dispelled. This delusion has been dispelled. So therefore, Bhishma Dev says that this same form who is standing in front of me as Krishna, the same form is situated in everyone's heart as a Paramatma. So Bhishma Dev is confirming the very same realization of Narada, how Krishna in the personal form is all pervading. Teshu vyapakatve hetuhu. What is the reason for his all pervading these embodied beings? What is the hetu for his all pervading quality? Atma kalpitanam atmani eva parama ashraye pradushkritanam. The reason is that the various embodied beings, they have been manifest from within him, Atma Kalpitana, the supreme shelter. So all the embodied beings have been manifest from within him. Krishna is the source of all the embodied beings are actually amshas of Krishna. They have been manifest from within him to the supreme shelter. So therefore Krishna is actually all pervading and situated as a Paramatma in everyone's heart. So tatra drishtantah. Yes, sir.
Prabhuji, is this because he has to reciprocate with each devotee in a different way? So he's all pervading in a different body in a different way. Is it what you are trying to tell, Prabhu?
Krishna is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart, but he is one person only. It's not that it's different. Normally, if there are, say, 10 balls are there in 10 rooms, so then all those 10 balls are different actually. All those 10 balls are different. But here, Krishna is there as Paramatma in everyone's heart, but he is one only. This is something
yeah, but his acts toward that particular person is different for different people.
That is there. Just like in the previous Anuccheda also we discussed. Narada Muni saw in each palace Krishna performing different activities. The Paramatma also may remain a different living entity of different things. So, but he is one only.
So by looking at him, we will see that he is a different, but practically he is one with a different activities at different places and different achintya
Paramatma may suppose remain a thief, a living entity who is having a say sinful propensities. Paramatma may remind him about his past sinful desires. Okay, you had a desire in the previous lifetime, you want to steal something, you want to enjoy in this manner. Here is an opportunity. Like that, Paramatma may remain that particular desire. Paramatma may remind somebody else. Oh, be careful, a thief may come today to your house. Paramatma may remind somebody else in a different way. So he may give knowledge, remembrance in a different way to different people, but he is one only. Although his activities are different, but he is one only.
Yeah. No, thank you, Prabhu.
So, Prabhuji, this Brahma Vihohan Leela also we can say something like this, or it's not applicable.
Yeah, there also. So Krishna manifests, say, different forms, but he is one person only. In one person, in one form, he is all pervaded. This is something inconceivable to the material mind. In a personal form, he is all pervaded. Usually, we don't see the material form. So, tatra drishtantah, an example is given so that we can understand this better. Pratidrisham iti, the words, there's a pratidrisham word comes. Praninam nana desha sthitanam avalokanam prati yata eka eva arko vriksha kudyad aparigadat vriksha kudyad uparigatattvena tatrapi kutrachid vyavadanah sampurnattvena sa vyavadanastु asampurnattvena ekada drishyate tata iti artha. So we see that the sun eka eva arko. The sun is one only. but the sun appears differently to different people. To the vision of people situated in different places. For somebody, he sees as a sunrise. Somebody sees as a sunset. Somebody sees as a noonday sun. Or the same sun, in the same place, one person may be seeing the sun from the from below the tree. So he may be seeing the sun through the gap in between the branches of the tree. Therefore, he sees the sun partially. But another person, a few feet away, he may see the sun completely. He may see the sun completely without any obstruction. So sun is one only, but the sun appears differently to people in different places. So similarly, the Bhagavan is one only, but he appears as separate in everyone's heart. So drishtanta ayam ekasya eva tatra tatrodaya ityetan matramshe. So the example, this example of Bhagavan being compared to a sun, this example should be taken in a partial sense. That both Krishna and the sun are one, while appearing in all these different places to be different. This example should be taken in a partial sense. So what is why it is to be taken in the partial sense? Vastu tastu Shri Bhagavad Vigraho Achintya Shaktya Tata Bhasate. Suryasya Durastha Vistirnatmata Swabhavena iti Visheshaha. So Bhagavan, in the case of Krishna, because of his Achintya Shakti, although he is one, he appears to be different and different. He appears to be differently situated. He appears to be many, but actually is one by his Achintya Shakti. So Krishna's divine form appears in this way through his Achintya Shakti. But in the case of the sun, sun does not have Achintya Shakti. The sun appears to be different, although the sun is one. That is because sun is situated at a very distant place. Durasthita. Durastha, sun is situated in a distant place, and Vistirnatmata. And because sun is all expansive, because it is distant and expansive in nature, therefore, although the sun is one, it appears to be different. But in the case of Krishna, Krishna is one, at the same time he appears to be different by his Achintya Shakti. This is the, therefore the analogy is partial. So, Atava tam purva varnita swarupam imam agrata eva upavishtam sharira bhajam hridi santam api samadhi gatosmi. So now in this paragraph, Jiva Goswami gives another explanation of the same shloka. Atava, another explanation. Another explanation is that Bhishma Dev is saying that I have now realized that the form which is standing in front of me, that is Krishna. The same Krishna in the same form is present in the heart of every living entity. So the previous explanation is that the Krishna's form is in front of Bhishma Dev, the two-handed form. But the Paramatma is a four-handed form. The four-handed form of Paramatma, Krishna is situated in every living entity. But the same Krishna, that is the previous explanation. The second explanation is that Bhishma Dev is saying that the same two-handed form of Krishna I am seeing that the same two-handed form of Krishna is present as the Paramatma in everyone's heart. Yadyapi antaryami rupam etasmad rupad anya akaram tatapi etad rupam evam aduna tatra tatra pashyami. Although the form of antaryami, Paramatma, that is the four-handed form, that is different from the two-handed form of Krishna, but right now I am seeing the same two-handed form of Krishna as the Paramatma in everyone's heart. Sarvato Mahaprabhavasya Etasya Rupasya Agrato Anyasya Rupasya Spurana Ashakte Riti Bhavaha. So what is the meaning here? That because of the influence of this one particular form, Etasya Rupasya Mahaprabhavasya, because of the supreme influence of this form of Krishna, no other form can be perceived in his presence. Because of the supreme influence of this form of Krishna, I am seeing the same two-handed form of Krishna as the Paramatma in everyone's heart. The four-handed form of Paramatma is not perceived in the presence of the influence of this two-handed form of Krishna. So, atra drishtanto desha bede api abeda bodhanaya nyeyo natu purna apurnatva vivakshayai. So the illustration is given to show that the Lord's form is one. The Lord's form is one, but although he is present in different places, the Lord's form is one. That is the main purpose of this illustration. The main purpose of this illustration is that the Lord's form is one, but although he is present in different places. Here the purpose of the illustration is not to show the Purna Apurnatva Vivaksha. It is not to show the completeness or incompleteness of one form or the other. The purpose of this anuccheda is that the Lord's form is one, although he is present in different places. And then Jiva Goswami says that if we take the Bhishma Dev's prayers, the first canto, 9th chapter, it begins with this verse 1.9.30. Amilita Drik Vyadarayat. That means with the unblinking eyes, Bhishma Dev beheld Krishna. And then after completing the prayer, the 43rd verse, Krishna Yevam Bhagavati Manova Kaya Vrittibihi. Absorbing himself in the self Sri Krishna by the functions of his mind, speech and body. So we see that before beginning, Bhishma Dev's prayer starts in the 31st shloka. It ends at, I think, 42nd shloka. So when we read the beginning of the Bhishma Dev's prayer and the end of the Bhishma Dev's prayer, Upakrama, Upasamhara. Upakrama means beginning, Upasamhara means end. So when we see the beginning and end, what we can understand is that it is clear that the subject is Bhagavan's personal form. Bhishma Dev is not speaking about the impersonal form being all pervading. He is talking about the personal form of Krishna to be all pervading. Because before beginning his prayer, he fixed his mind on the personal form of Krishna. And after concluding his prayer also, Krishna evam Bhagavati manova kaya vrittibihi. He actually absorbed himself in the personal form of Krishna. So therefore, tato nedam padyam brahma param vyakyayam. Therefore, this verse should not be interpreted as the impersonal Brahman is all pervading. That will be a wrong interpretation. So tadevam parichinnatva aparichinnatva अपरिचिन्वत्वयोर युगपत् स्थितेः अचरम चरमेव च. Gita 13:13. Ityetadapi atra susangachyate. So therefore, in the same way, how the Bhagavan's form is parichinnatva, simultaneously limited, and aparichinnatva, and at the same time all pervading. Yugapat, simultaneously limited and all pervading. This is also nicely confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 13.13. Acharam charamevacha. He is movable and immovable. He is movable. Acharam, acharam means immovable. Charam means movable. Only with that which has a form is actually movable. That which has no form is immovable. Or that which is all pervading is immovable. That which is limited will be movable. The same thing is also the Gita verse Susangache, Susangachate. The Gita verse is also highly relevant in the present context. So ato vibhutve api leelaya yatartyam siddhyati. So although Krishna is all pervading, leelaya yatartyam, but his pastimes are real. Although Krishna is all pervading, his pastimes in a human like form are real. So in this way, Bhishma Dev's prayer is actually quoted. So I'll read some few points from the purport, and then we'll go to the next anucheda. So Bhishma Dev is not alluding to Krishna and the Jiva as being one, but to the oneness of Krishna sitting directly before him, and Paramatma seated within each heart. The sun is one only, but appears different to different people. So therefore, this shows actually Krishna is not subordinate to space and time. A material object cannot exist in two locations simultaneously, because a material object is constrained by place and time. Material object cannot exist in two times simultaneously. But in the case of the Supreme Lord, the space and time cannot limit his body, because Krishna is not subordinate to space and time, rather he controls them. And also, yeah, almost most of the point we covered from the purports also. So this verse should not be interpreted as referring to the formless unqualified Brahman, because Bhishma's consciousness was fixed on the personal qualified Brahman. So Bhishma did not focus on the impersonal Brahman. So because the Lord's body is all pervading, at the same time yet one, it is possible for him to engage in his transcendental pastimes. So in the Advaitavada conception, they consider Krishna's pastimes to be an empirical reality only. Empirical reality means it is a reality only in the Vyavaharika platform. We discussed about 3 platforms. Vyavaharika Satta and Paramarthika Satta and one more thing. Vyavaharika, Paramarthika and the level of dream, I think. One is the empirical reality, another is the transcendental reality, another is in the dream state. So when we talk about so the Advaitavada conception, they say that Krishna's pastimes are only empirical reality. It is not a reality in the transcendental platform. So they do not consider that Krishna's personal form is all pervading. They consider Krishna's impersonal form is all pervading. They don't consider Krishna's personal form to be all pervading. So unless a person removes this misconception, one cannot free oneself of the limitations inherent within that Advaitavada. So therefore, we have to understand that Krishna in his personal form is all pervading. Yeah, in his impersonal form is all pervading, that is true. But apart from that, in his personal form also is all pervading. So this is the 44th Anucheda. You will go to the 45th Anucheda. Any doubts in this?
Prabhuji, this, yeah, Prabhuji, this also, this also gives the proof for the philosophy, seeing God in everything and everything in God, personal form.
Yeah. So Krishna is all pervading in his impersonal form. Krishna is all pervading through his energies. And Krishna in his personal form is also all pervading. So Krishna in his personal form is also all pervading. As a Paramatma is all pervading. But in a personal form, like Narada Muni saw the same Swayam Rupa form of Krishna, how it is all pervading. In our case, we can see how Krishna is all pervading in our level through his energies. So we see different objects in this world. We can understand theoretically. Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kammanu Buddhirevach. All the earth, water, fire, air, ether, they are all external energy of Krishna. So Krishna through his energies is all pervading. We can understand that shastrically. And how Krishna is all pervading through the impersonalists. They only understand that the absolute truth is all pervading through the impersonal form. But the realized devotees like Bhishmadev, Narada Muni, Bhishmadev could see that the same Krishna in front of him is present as the Paramatma in everyone's heart. He is one, but he is differently situated everywhere. But he is one only. Narada Muni saw the same Swayam Rupa Krishna present everywhere. So the realized devotees, they could see that we can have faith on that. So now the next Anucheda, how the Lord's body is eternal and also all pervading. So the same theme, a verse from the 8th canto, 6th chapter is quoted. Evam tasya nityatvam vibhutve sadite. So it has been established that the Bhagavan Swami is eternal and all pervading. Tata eva tataiva vyakyatam Shri Swamibir Ashtamasya Shashte. The same thing is also explained by Sridhara Swami in the 8th canto, 6th chapter. So Jiva Goswami quotes Sridhara Swami's verse in the commentary to 8.6.8. Anavira viraseyam nabhuta buditi bruvan brahmabi praiti nityatva vibhutve bhagavattanoho. Brahma abhipraiti. Abhipraiti means establishes. It is concluded. Brahma establishes nityatva vibhutve bhagavattanoho. Bhagavattanoho nityatva vibhutve. He establishes the eternality and the all-pervading nature of Bhagavan's body. By saying Anavir aviraseyam nabhuta buditi bruvan. It is not that the Lord's body did not exist previously and he has appeared only now. It is not that the Lord's body did not exist previously and he has appeared now. Rather, it existed before and has now become visible. Lord Swami body existed before, but it has now become visible to our eyes. This is what Brahmaji is saying, and that Brahmaji's statement is explained by Sridhar Swami in his own words. So, what is the actual Brahmaji statement? That is described in 8.6.8 and 9, two shlokas. So, that is the subject of this anuccheda. So, you know that once Durvasa Muni, after returning from Vaikunta, he met Indra. Indra was in Airavat. So, Durvasa Muni honored the Indra by offering him Vishnu's garland. But Indra, because of being intoxicated by his elevated position, he did not consider the importance of that garland. So he actually threw that garland onto the head of the Airavata. And Airavata threw that garland into the ground and trampled on that garland. And Durvasa Muni became angry and cursed Indra to be deprived of his wealth and glamour. So you see that when you worship the Supreme Lord, you also have to show respect to the Tadiya of the Lord. Tadiya means the things related to the Lord, persons related to Bhagavan, the devotees, the holy dham, his paraphernalia, the garlands worn by the Lord, the prasad offered to the Lord. One has to show proper respect. Even in the performance of a yajna, mentioned previously, in the performance of a yajna, whatever is used in the performance of a yajna, that should be shown proper respect after the completion of a yajna. In the Mimamsa Shastras, it is explained, suppose while performing a fire yajna, a person gets a itching sensation. Then the yajna rules explain, in order to relieve the itch, a person has to use the particular wood, a stick made of a particular wood, and use that to actually scratch the itch. That kind of minute description is given. And then after the yajna is over, because that particular stick which was used to scratch the itch, that has become the part of a yajna. So it has become sacred. You cannot just throw that stick away in any dustbin. If you throw it like that, then you are showing disrespect to the paraphernalia used in the yajna. One will not get the yajna phala. So the Mimamsa Shastras describe that how one should treat that stick. So one should dig a particular hole in the ground of a particular depth in the ground. That detail is also mentioned. The particular depth, and then make that dig that hole and then put that stick into the hole, and then in that way one should actually show respect to that stick. So therefore, that even in the yajna, the things used in the yajna have to be shown in the proper way. That is why we, like the temple also, we have nirmalya, we have a separate dustbin, the garland used for the Lord. But other normal waste, there is a separate dustbin. But here Indra disrespected that garland and Durvasa cursed. So at that time, when Indra lost his opulences, he sought the help of Brahma, and then Brahma approached Vishnu. And Vishnu appeared. When Vishnu appeared, only Brahma and Shiva could see Vishnu. So when Brahma saw the form of Vishnu, he began reciting the prayers. And these prayers are in the 8th canto, 6th chapter, before just in the beginning of the Samudra Manthan episode. So from that 8th canto 6th chapter, 2 shlokas are quoted. Verse number 8 and 9. The first shloka is Ajata Janma Sthiti Samyamaya Gunaya. Ajata Janma Sthiti Samyamaya Maya. Ajata Janma Sthiti Samyamaya Gunaya. Nirvana Sukarnavaya. Anoranimner Apariganyadamne Mahanubhavaya Namo Namaste. What is the meaning of the shloka? Ajata Janma Sthiti Samya Maya Gunaya. So Namo Namaste, I offer obeisances to you, who is Mahanubhavaya, who are most exalted, and Ajata, who have never been subject to birth or sthiti, continuance or dissolution. Ajata Janma Sthiti Samya Maya Gunaya. Ajata Asthiti Asamyama. That means who has never been subject to birth, continuance or dissolution. And Samyamaya Gunaya, Maya Gunaya, who transcends the material gunas. And Nirvana Sukarnavaya, who are an ocean of bliss in the form of Nirvana Sukha, complete cessation of material existence. And Anor Animne, who is finer than the atom. Apariganya Damne, whose abodes, Dama, whose abodes are Apariganya, are innumerable, beyond counting. So this is the verse spoken by Brahma. So let us see the Sridhar Swami's commentary. Shri Murtir Ayam Avirbhava Eva Natu Asmadadivat Janmadi Tava Asti Ityaha Na Jata Janmadayo Yasya. So the Bhagavan's form appeared, Avirbhava. We say Tirobhava, Avirbhava. Unlike us who actually take birth, we take birth in a body. But Bhagavan's body, Avirbhava, becomes visible. It does not undergo the birth and so on. Therefore, Brahma says, Hutaha. In order to convey this, Brahma says, Agunaya Ato Nirvana Sukasya Arnavaya Apara Moksha Sukarupaya Ityartaha. Because you transcend the material gunas, Agunaya, and you are an ocean of bliss in the form of complete cessation of material existence. Therefore, because you transcend the material gunas and because you are an ocean of bliss, therefore you have never been subject to the birth, continuance and dissolution. In other words, Apara Moksha Sukharupam Ityartaha. You are the embodiment of the Apara Moksha Sukha, unlimited bliss of liberation. And not only that, Tatapi Anor Animne Ati Sukshmaya Durjnanatvat. You are finer than the atom, Anor Animne. This shows that Durjnanatvat or Ati Sukshmaya, how the Lord is extremely subtle. Because Durjnanatvat, being difficult to comprehend. Vastutaha, Vastutastu, Apariganyam Yat Atitam Dama Murtir Yasya Tasmai. Factually speaking, your abodes are beyond counting. They cannot be counted. Apariganyam Yat Atitam Dama. That means there is no way to calculate the number of your forms, number of your abodes. Na Chaitar, Nacha Yetar Asambhavitam. One may say, oh, whatever you are saying, how can it be possible? How can it be finer than the atom? How can it be have unlimited abodes? All this is impossible. One may say that. Therefore, the word is Mahan Achintyo Anubhavo Yasya Tasmai. Therefore, the word Mahanubhavaya is used. Mahanubhava shows that you are most exalted because your magnificence is inconceivable. You possess Achintya Shakti. So, therefore, because you possess Achintya Shakti, it is all possible. You can have unlimited abodes. You are smaller than the smallest. You are the personification of the Moksha Sukha. You are freed from Janma, Sthiti and Samyama. It's all possible. And therefore, I bow down. Yasya Tasmai. This is the first shloka. And then the next shloka is the ninth shloka. Rupam Tavaitat Purusharsha Bejyam Shreyortibir Vaidika Tantrikena Yogena Data Sakanastrilokan Pashyam Yamushmin Nuha Vishwamurtau. This is the second shloka. What is the meaning? Dataha, O Lord. Purusharshaba, O Supreme Person. So, Tava Rupam, this form of yours is Ijyam. This form of yours is worthy of worship. By Shreyortibir. Shreyortibir means by all the seekers of Shreya. By all the seekers of good. All the seekers of Shreya means ultimate good. There is Preyas and Shreyas. Preyas means immediate good. Shreyas means ultimate good. Shreyortibir Ijyam. This form of yours is worthy of worship by the all the seekers of ultimate good. Shreyortibir Vaidika Tantrikena. By the means described in the Vedas or the Tantras. And Yogena Dataha Sahanas Trilokan Pashyami Amushminnu Uha Vishwamurtau. Vishwamurtau, in this universal form. In this universal form of yours, Amushmin Vishwamurtau. In this universal form of yours, Pashyami, I am seeing. What I am seeing? Trilokan Pashyami. I see all the three planetary systems. And Saha Naha. Naha means us. Us means all the Devatas. I see all the planetary systems and also along with us. It means all the Devatas. In this universal form of yours, I see us, all the Devatas, along with the three planetary systems. And then Sridhar Swami's commentary. Tan Murtehe Sanatanatva Aparimeyatvam cha Upapadayati Rupam iti. So Brahma further establishes the Sanatanatva, the eternal, and Aparimeyatvam, the immeasurable nature of the Lord's body in this subsequent verse, in this verse. How does he say? He Purusharshaba, He Dataha. These are the two words he is using to address the Lord, the Sambodhana Vibhakti. O Supreme Person, Purusha Rishabha. Purusha means person, Rishabha means supreme, or the best among the persons. O Dataha means O Creator. Datru means Creator. Dataha is the Sambodhana Vibhakti. O Creator. Yetat Tava Rupam Vaidikena Tantrikena cha Yogena Upayena Shreyortibihi Sada Ijyam Pujyam. This form of yours is Sada Ijyam, always worthy of worship. Ijyam means Pujyam. Pujyam means is worthy of worship. Pujaniya, Pujyam, is always worthy of worship by Shreyortibir, by those who desire the ultimate good. By how? What is the means? Yogena upayena, Vaidikena tantrikena cha yogena upayena. By the means of the Vedic and the Tantric processes, Tantra Shastras. Therefore, it is understood. Ataha ato neda midanim apurvam jatamiti bhavaha. Therefore, it is understood that this is not the first time this form has appeared. It is not that the form we are seeing, it is first time it has appeared. No, this form is always present. Sada Ijyam, it is always worthy of worship by those who desire the ultimate good. Ato na idanim apurvam jatam iti bhavaha. So, and then, so now there is a dialogue. The Lord is asking the Devatas, Nanu, you are saying that my form is the worthy of worship at all times by those who desire the ultimate good. But Nanu, yuyam devaha pujatvena prasiddhaha. But you all Devatas, they are also mentioned as to be worshipped in the Shastras. Vedas are eternal, and Vedas also talk about the worship of the Devatas. So, and the Devata worship is popular. Prasiddha. You Devatas are popularly considered worshipable, aren't you? So, why are you saying that I am to be worshipped always? But yeah, it is more popular that you Devatas are to be worshipped. That is how most people worship. The Brahma is answering, Satyam. It is true. But Sarve api atra eva antarbhuta ityaha. But we are all contained in this form of yours. Sarve api atra eva antarbhuta ityaha. We are all contained in this form of yours. And Brahmaji is making it clear by two words, who and her. See in this shloka, Yogena Dataha Sakanas Trilokan Pashyami Amushmin Nu. Amushmin Nu is there, na? The word Nu and then her. The word Nu actually denotes the exclamatory mark, aho. And the letter her denotes that sputum. Sputum means it is evident. So Brahma, by these two words, who and her, this is like expletives. Expletive, you understand in English? Expletive is like a, what do you say? Exclamation mark is like an expletive. So Brahma uses the expletives who and her, which are exclamations of astonishment as well as indications of something which is self-evident. Who denotes aho. Aho means astonishment. Her means sputum. That means this actually shows something which is self-evident. So therefore Brahma says that Amushmin Twayi Naha Asmam Trilokamscha Saha Pashyami. In this form of yours, we are seeing us, the Devatas, and also the three planetary systems. Tatra Hetu. What is the reason for that? Vishwamurtehe. Vishwamurtehe means what? Vishwam Murtau Yasya Ataha Tavaita Drupam Parichinnatvam Parichinnam api na bhavati ityartaha. So Brahma says that since the whole universe, Vishwam Murtau Yasya, since the whole universe is contained within your body, therefore your form is not limited by anything. Ataha tava etad rupam. This form of yours is parichinnam api. Na bhavati ityartaha. since the whole universe is contained within your form is not limited by anything. This is the end of Sridhar Swami's explanation. Just a few other points and then we will end. So, atra nirvana sukarnavaya ityarnavatva rupakena nirvana sukamatratvam nirasya tato api adhikam akasu sukatvam darshitam. So, it is mentioned nirvana sukarnavaya. By using the metaphor of the ocean in describing the Lord as an ocean of bliss in the form of nirvana sukha. Nirvana sukha means a complete cessation. So, by using the metaphor of the ocean, by using the metaphor of the ocean, Brahma refutes the idea that the Bhagavan is nothing more than the bliss of liberation. Because somebody may say that so Bhagavan is nothing but the bliss of liberation. He is not higher than that. One may say like that. But this idea is refuted by Brahmaji because he is using the metaphor of ocean. In fact, Bhagavan's body is a personification of bliss which is much exceeding the bliss of liberation. Tatopi adhikam akasukatvam darshitam. So, in fact, Bhagavan's form is a joy far exceeding the bliss of liberation. And this is confirmed in the Dhruva Maharaj's prayer. Ya nirvritis tanubrutam tavapada padma dhyanad bhavat janakata shravanena vasyat sa brahmani swamahiman apinatamabhut kim tvantakasi lulitat patatam vimanat. So, what is the meaning of the shloka? Dhruva Maharaj is saying that Tanu Brutam, the bliss relished by the embodied beings, through dhyanat, meditation on Pada Padma, your lotus feet, or Bhavat Jana Katha Shravanena, through hearing the stories of your devotees. Bhavat Jana Katha Shravanena. Bhavat Jana means devotees. Jana Katha Shravanena, by hearing the stories of your devotees. The bliss relished by the embodied beings by meditation on your lotus feet or by hearing the stories of your devotees, such a bliss, Sa Brahmani Swa Mahiman Apinata Mabur. Such a bliss is not available even in the impersonal Brahman, which is your glory. That means the bliss obtained by hearing Krishna Katha or by meditating on the lotus feet of the Krishna is much higher than the bliss of impersonal Brahman. Kim Tvantakasi Lulitat Patatam Vimana. How then can it be enjoyed with the Devatas who fall down from their airplanes, which are destroyed by the sword of death? So, to speak of the happiness from the heavenly happiness, there is no need to speak about that only. That is even much more inferior. The bliss of devotional service is superior even to the bliss of liberation, bliss of the impersonal Brahman. So, what to speak of the bliss of the heavenly planets? Then the last this thing, Tata Anor Animni iti prochya Aparimeya Damne ityukter Achintya Shaktitva Rupena Mahanubhavatvena Sarva Parimana Adaratvam Tatra Darshitamiti Visheshopi Jnayaha. When it is said Anor Animne, the Lord is finer than the atom. By this statement, and also by after having said that the Lord is finer than the atom, the statement whose forms are immeasurable. Aparimeya damne. Aparimeya damne, it is used. Anor animne apariganya damne, whose forms are immeasurable, indicates that by his supreme opulence, Mahanubhavatvena, or inconceivable magnificence, his form is the basis of all measurement. This unique feature of his should also be understood. So, according to the Nyaya Shastra, there are three actually parimana. One is Anu parimana, another is Madhyama parimana, another is Vibhu parimana. So, Anu parimana means the atomic Anu parimana. Vibhu parimana means all pervading. And then Madhyama parimana is the different objects we see in this world. The table, chair, or building, all these are Madhyama parimana. So here Brahmaji is seeing the form of the Lord in front of him. And the form of the Lord is actually having Madhyama parimana. But Brahmaji is describing in his prayer, Anor animne. The Lord is smaller than the atom. He is talking about the Anu parimana of the Lord. And also he is saying that Aparimeya damne, Apariganya damne, or Aparimeya damne. How the Lord's form cannot be measured. He's seeing the Madhyama parimana form of the Lord, but at the same time he's saying that the Lord is smaller than the smallest and he is immeasurable. That means he's talking about the Lord having the Anu parimana as well as the Vibhu parimana. But he is seeing the Lord as having a Madhyama parimana, but he's saying that the Lord is actually smaller than the atom. He's having Anu parimana and he's also having Vibhu parimana. So how can it be possible? Somebody having the Anu parimana, Vibhu parimana and Madhyama parimana. That means the Lord is having all the three parimanas. Anu parimana, Vibhu parimana and Madhyama parimana. In the Nyaya Shastra talks about how the different objects have different parimanas. Akasha is all pervading. Akasha is Vibhu parimana. Akasha is Vibhu parimana. When we talk about different earth as a paramanu is having Anu parimana. But earth in the form of a table, the table is made of the earth. The earth in the form of a table is having Madhyama parimana. But the earth in the form of a paramanu is having Anu parimana. So Nyaya Shastra talks about the parimana of each object in this world. But Brahmaji is making an amazing statement. He is seeing the Lord in front of him with the Madhyama parimana. But he is saying that you also have Anu parimana and Vibhu parimana. So Krishna, by his Achintya Shakti, he manifests all the sizes simultaneously. And that is the significance of the word Mahanubhava, one who has great opulence. One who has great opulence. So, and also it is explained that since the Vedas are eternal and the Vedas describe the entity to be worshipped, and that entity must also be eternal. But one may get a doubt, but Vedas also talk about the worship of the Devatas. So then the Devatas must also be eternal, because Vedas also describe how the Devatas are to be worshipped. But how do you understand is that when we talk about the Devatas, Devatas are the name of the post they hold. The different people keep occupying that post. And the person will change, the post remains same. And that post also, at the time of annihilation of the Brahmanda, that post also gets destroyed. Again, when the Brahmanda is created, the post becomes manifest. So, alternatively, when we say the Devas mentioned in the Vedas, they can be understood to be applied to the eternal associates of the Bhagavan in the Vaikuntha, who have the same names. So, in this way, in this particular Anucheda, this Anucheda goes further, which we'll see next week. But In this 45th Anucheda, we saw two shlokas, 8.6.8 and 9. Brahmaji's prayers to Vishnu. In these two shlokas, establish how the Lord is all pervading and he is eternal. How the Lord is all pervading and eternal. And the Lord is, although he is having Madhyama Parimana, at the same time he is smaller than the smallest and also is immeasurable. So by his Achintya Shakti it is possible. And the Sridhar Swami's comment on this shloka, that also we saw. In the previous Anucheda, we discussed Bhishma Dev's verse spoken by Bhishma Dev, where Bhishma Dev is saying that this form of Krishna in front of me, I am able to see that because my duality has been removed, the delusion of duality has been removed, I am seeing that this form of Krishna is present in every living entity's heart as a Paramatma. I am able to perceive this. Just like the one sun is perceived differently by different people, similarly, the same form of Krishna, this one Krishna is situated as Paramatma in different persons' heart. We saw these shlokas. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions?
Prabhuji, lastly, you said that the Devatas were the eternal associates of the Lord, and their
Yeah.
post persons are keep changing, and the post remains same.
No, what
But
I said was
these,
that Devatas are, Devatas refer to there are two meanings. One meaning is that Devata refers to a post and different people keep occupying that post. This is one meaning. Another meaning is that the word Deva refers to the eternal associates of Lord in the Vaikuntha. This is another meaning of the word Deva. So when so there are the eternal associates of Krishna in Vaikuntha. So the Deva can refer to those personalities, or Deva can refer to the Devatas in this world, which refer to a particular post, and the persons occupying that post can keep changing. There are two meanings of the word Deva.
also the Deva can be sometimes Naradeva also, that human being, like equal to God.
No, the king is considered as a Naradeva. Naradeva, because king is supposed to represent the Bhagavan.
The Lord, yeah.
He's a representative of Bhagavan.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Rajya Dharma. All the dharmas are dependent on the Rajya Dharma. From the Dharma point of view, I was just hearing Hitopadesh class. Sabhi Dharma, Rajya Dharma mein ashrit hai. That is why it is important that when we see there's a famous mantra in all those famous mantra which we chant in different occasions. That mantra says that let the king rule the kingdom, let the king rule the country properly. Because when a king, the head of the country, is ruling the country properly, based on that, all the other people in the society they can perform the dharma properly. So if the dharmic king is not present, then people in the kingdom they also cannot perform their dharma. Becomes difficult for them to perform their dharma. Hiranyakashipu, when he was ruling, people were unable to perform their dharma. Vena, when he was ruling, he stopped the performance of all the dharmas. Currently, also, if you go to Pakistan and those countries, can the Hindus perform their dharma? Because the dharmic king is not there. And there are many Pakistani representatives in India also, many political parties. If they come to their power, then the common people, dharmic people will find it more and more difficult to perform their dharma. So therefore, it is important the representative should be, as far as possible, should be dharmic. He should be a dharmic person. Because when he is dharmic person, then it becomes easy for the people in the kingdom, people in the country to perform dharma. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, brother.
So we'll stop here. So thank you very much for